There are times in life when we are down and out, when we are miserable and distressed, and we have lost connection with our lives. Now, this could be because of umpteen reasons. It could be due to a loss in our business. It could be loss of a life partner, an ongoing divorce proceeding. It could be failure to get the job or the college of our choice. It could be a health crisis. It could even be an accident. Now, whatever the causes, the common denominator is, the common factor is that our self-confidence, our self-esteem, and our self-worth, they go for a toss. They go out of the window. Now, how to recover that lost ground? How to have that self-confidence back, and that too at the earliest? Now, you'll say that with time, automatically, you'll recover the lost ground. But how much time? Sometimes it may take days, sometimes it may take weeks or months together to recover that lost confidence. So how to fast track? How to get our self-confidence back, and that too at the earliest? For this, we must understand that self-confidence is not about what we have. It's about who we really are. It starts with self-acceptance. That is the ability to be who we truly are and to do the things which really matter to us, which we really cherish. Now, in times of distress, we are generally lured to copy someone else, to mimic someone else, to ape someone else. But tell me, what's the fun in being a phony character, in being a fictitious character? Whereas all the joy, all the fun lies in being an original, who you truly are. You need to ask some tough questions in these times. You need to ask yourself, do I need the acknowledgements? Do I need the commendations and recommendations of others? Do I really want others to say that I am an extraordinary person, that they love me, they appreciate me, they adore me? Or I need more of self-acceptance during these times. I need more of who I truly am, what I am on the inside. But generally, people are mesmerized with things which are external to them. They try to have a big car, they try to have a fat bank deposit, they love to have those clothes, those jazzy clothes, that jazzy attire. They love to buy themselves jewelry during these times. But really, do you need all these things? Because ultimately, it's the man behind that clothes, it's that man behind that car, that jewelry, which really matters. It's not those external things, it's what you are on the inside that really matters. Look at these Mahatmas and saints who hardly wear anything on their bodies. At max, they are wearing a loincloth. But do they have a dearth of followers? Do they have a dearth of disciples? They have them in umpteen numbers. It's because they are self-assured. They are self-confident about who they are, not about the clothes they are wearing. So my dear friends, the first trait you need to inculcate in yourself is to accept yourself. And that will start the ball rolling for self-confidence. Now, with self-acceptance in place, we need to have some more integrity about ourselves. We need to have some more faith, some more conviction, some more belief in these troubled times. Because it is this trait which will allow you to stand for yourself, to stand for your cause, to stand for your objectives, for your mission. It is this trait which will actually free you of all the self-doubt and worry and fear which you have. It will inculcate some more self-assurance, some more self-reliance within you. It is like that unflinching faith of Mahatma Gandhi, which he held during the freedom struggle. He believed in ahimsa, in non-violence, and he upheld that value throughout the freedom struggle. He got us freedom without shedding a drop of blood. So I'm talking about this unflinching faith which you need to inculcate and imbibe in yourself in order to gain some more self-confidence. Then, with the two traits in place, we need to set an intention for ourselves. By intention, I mean that we should say to ourselves that no matter what, no matter how I behaved in the past, whether I behaved as a timid person or a shy person or a coyish person, I am going to act confident in this moment. I'm going to walk through this room with my head held high and my chest held high, and I'm going to look at the world in the eye. So that should be the attitude in order to usher in some more self-confidence. You should be able to say to yourself that I'm going to behave as a person I really want to be, a confident person, a person with attitude, a person who is lovable, who is caring, who is ambitious. So whatever person you want to be, decide to be that. Make a choice to be that right in this very moment. Because wherever your attention goes, wherever your intention goes, the energy flows, and the outputs and the outcomes, they start to come in that direction. That's what we call law of attraction. Once you have these three traits in place, it's time to do some self-analysis, to make out as to why you landed in this soup. If you are going through a divorce proceeding, was it not because of your lack of communication skills, your failure to communicate properly with your life partner? If you've landed in this business trouble, in this business debacle, then was it not because of your lack of business knowledge, your lack of business sense, your lack of business acumen? If you're facing this health crisis, it was because of your failure to follow those disciplined lifestyles, those healthy practices, and those healthy routines. So once you analyze yourself, you find the areas where you lack, and then you must work at them. You must try to hone your skills, your talents, increase your knowledge base, gain expertise in the areas which really matter to you. It means you need to increase your competency in those areas. As your competency increases, your level of confidence rises. Psychologists, they call it the competency confidence loop. The two are complementary, the two are synergistic, the two go hand in hand. As one increases, the other follows suit. So what I'm trying to say here is that competence is something which is like learning how to ride a bicycle. Initially, we are uncomfortable, we find it difficult to balance ourselves. Often we stumble, we fall down, but then gradually, as we learn to balance ourselves, now we can drive the bicycle hands-free. As our confidence and competence grow further, now we can do some more risk, we can take some more risks, we can do the somersaults, we can take some more chances, we can do more antics with our bicycle. So that's true for any area, any genre, any profession. Wherever we increase our skills, we become more competent at it. And as we become competent, our confidence levels, they rise. Then last but not the least, all these traits, all these qualities to imbibe self-confidence in us, they would be null and void if we do not follow this last trait, and that is momentum. Once you are in those adverse circumstances, once you're having those troubled times, once you are miserable in your life, you generally go into a state of inertia. You go into a shell. You enter into a comfort zone. And it's very difficult to come out of that place. But you have to mindfully, you have to consciously make a decision to move your bodies, to set some pace, to set some momentum. And this momentum should come even though you do not have the final plan, the final vision in front of you. You will see, as you set your bodies to momentum, you get fresher ideas, you get fresher perspectives, fresher insights, fresher suggestions from other people. And then you start to see the picture more clearly. Now there are people who say that your decision is destiny. But decision is hardly our destiny. There are so many people who decide to lose weight, but how many of them are truly successful? I'll say very few. The ones who actually follow through with their decisions, who follow those diet regimes, who follow those healthy practices, who follow that exercise regime, they are the only ones who are truly able to shed some weight. So my dear friends, we should not wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right circumstances, the right people. We should just set our bodies to momentum, and we'll see that our self-confidence, it starts to follow us. So in the end, I would like to say that we do not need too many things to imbibe that self-confidence, to revive and resurrect that self-confidence in us. We need to understand that self-confidence is not about what we have, it's about who we are. That means we need to accept ourselves thoroughly, through and through. Thereafter, we need to set an intention and integrity for ourselves. We need to have some belief in ourselves, some unflinching faith in ourselves. And we need to decide to act confident right in this very moment. Thereafter, we need to have some competence so that we enhance our skills, we hone our talents, and we become better at the areas which really matter to us. Thereafter, we need to make those wild moves and give momentum to our bodies. And if we follow these 5 traits, then the day is not far away when we'll be able to revive, we'll be able to resurrect, we will be able to rebuild our self-confidence. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Deepak Arora signing off for the time being. If you've liked the video, please do share it with your friends and relatives. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.